A massive thank you to Walker, Dylan, IXA, Callum and DYL for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 12 of Season 7 of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Yesterday we're here back ready for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Been a very long time since I've driven around Hungary on F1 2021. But of course, as always though, a massive thank you. We've smashed now through 47,000 subscribers. F1 2022 is pretty much now a month away, and I mentioned it in the Williams RTG a couple of days ago. We've got a lot of videos to get through before then, so if you're not already, please do make sure you subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, really close. It's going to be tight trying to hit that 50k goal before F1 2022 does eventually release. But I'm sure, yeah, you guys hopefully are going to keep the support flowing, and it's just been phenomenal this year. I sort of think a year ago at this point, I had about 14,000 subscribers. We hit 15k as F1 2021 came out. And then now we're chasing down 50k. It just absolutely blows my mind. So I cannot thank you guys enough for the continued support on my work. But yeah, today that we head back to the Hungarian Grand Prix, of course, if you missed it on the last video from Silverstone, went live on Monday, I would highly recommend going back and checking out 100% race around Silverstone, effectively the home of Formula 1, and things didn't go badly, but they didn't quite go the way I wanted. Championship-wise, we still lead the way, 53 points clear of our main rival, George Russell, so we have still got a 2-race victory margin over the Red Bull man. Red Bull, though, lead the Constructors. Max Verstappen still not seem to get any luck in this year. I'm going to keep him contracted to the end of the season still, but an 8-point deficit to Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship. This track, theoretically, should suit their car as well, but Hungary has often delivered some weird results on F1, so let's get into it. Right, well, here we are then, back at the Hungarian Grand Prix. First few laps here from Magyar Nagadic. Fingers crossed we can just try and keep the car on the island. I will struggle through this final sector of the lap there as we come towards the end of my tyre wear run. Not actually going to be any score at all there as we were a little way away from the Delta. We'll go for a second chance.
Tyre data is no good unless we're doing a representative pace. If we don't get our time delta back in the green, we'll need to rerun this program.
Jeff not a fan of the first lap, and rather understandably then. Let's see now if we can try and get purple. Just using a bit of DRS to gain some free time. We're a bit closer to the Delta this time around as we try and get the inside wheel on that drain. Still in the purple score as well. We're going to have to use a lot of battery at the final corner. And no, just can't quite get the car rotated through that final turn. It isn't going to be any score. We don't need the points, but it's still not reassuring. Right, well, yeah, tyre wear run not going too well. Let's get in then to a qualifying simulation run. There are a lot of curve through turn 1. Try and roll on the power on the exit, but yeah, so far not particularly confident with the way things have gone. Like I said, it's just through these final couple of corners. I've never had any confidence through these final 2 hairpins at the Hungaroring, but out of the final corner, use all the curb on the exit, and we're still a 10th off the qualifying run. Better than I thought it would be, but we're going to have to move into qualifying with, yeah, not a lot of confidence behind me. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Well, it's never a good sign then when I have to show Q1 in one of these My Team Career Mode videos, but at the moment we have just got no pace around here. Looks like Sonoda as well is struggling very similarly, as yeah, down in P13 at this stage of the session. Can we find any more time? Hopefully try and bolster our way at a Q1. I've used a set of mediums and a set of soft compound tyres here, and even the softs, yeah, we just haven't quite been able to get the car where we need it.
Continue your flying lap. This is your last chance to set a time.
But at the moment, yeah, we're still right on the cusp of the drop zone, and we just cannot find any time round here. Really trying to push and explore the grip limits through the middle sector and just seeing if there's any sort of free time to pick up anywhere. But you can just see we cannot get the car where I want it in this Q1 run. They're down to P15 now as we head in towards the final few corners of the lap. We are back up into the green, but again, not by much here. As we head around the final few corners of the lap, just trying to keep the power nice and tidy. As we head through the final hairpin here, are we going to be able to improve? Yes, we are, but not by a lot. As we head up towards the line, it is 14th. We do just sneak by. And because, of course, we had to do 3 runs in Q1 there, including 2 runs on the softs, we're only going to have 1 fresh set of tyres here as we jump into Q2. Of course, you get the extra set if you make it into Q3. So we're going to have to do 1 run on the old set of rubber. And then, fingers crossed, just try and find a bit more time on the final run there. It's making a bit of a mistake at turn 1, but still got the power down. This is just going to have to be a very, very quick banker. As you can just see, really struggling with understeer in a lot of places. Understeer, front locking, oversteer, it's all going on around the Hungaroring. Thanks immediately down back onto a 12 flat there. As yeah, like I said, I think it's just through these final couple of turns we lose a lot of time. Sonoda into the 11s in his Merc, and we set a 13 flat. We're over a second away, but rain is predicted later on in the session, so if others make mistakes on their first run, we could rely on a miracle here to see us into Q3. Yeah, with just under 5 minutes left on the clock then, we're going to go out for our second run in Q2. Don't want to leave it right to the very end just in case that rain does appear. But yeah, this is really now or never in qualifying then. Our final set of clean, fresh tyres here as we head out of the final corner. Activate the DRS up over the start-finish line as we power our way back down towards turn 1 here. Almost 210 miles an hour before you slam on the anchors at the 100-metre board there. Second gear on the way in. And short shift up to 4th on the way out, just to avoid the wheel spin as you head down the hill there. Under the gantry, braking at about 80 metres before turn 2. Through the middle sector there, we're now back up into the green, but we need a lot of time on this run, so fingers crossed we're going to find some pace through the second half of the lap here, but it's not filling me with confidence at the moment there. It's run horribly wide. Out in towards sector 3 then, braking at about 60 metres. So we tip it in through the 90-degree right there. And I mean, now, of course, this is where the old tyres started to bleed a lot more. These fresh ones should have a whole lot more grip there as we're just trying to explore. Trying to just step over the limit there as at the final corner we go. We are going to find another half a second. It's only P13. We're out in Q2 here for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We've got nothing more we can do. No fresh sets of tyres. That is gutting as championship leader, but I always said this track was a bit of a bogey circuit for me. All we got to pray now is that we get a good race, I suppose. Here we go then, at the end of Q2. Russell fastest there on a 10.6. A top AI running ferociously quickly here. But, I mean, we got out-qualified by Jack Aitken and Nikita Mazepin at the end of the session there. So, no idea what's going on at the moment. Again, another 1.2 behind our teammate Max Verstappen. I always said this track was a bit of a bogey circuit. We're just going to have to grit our teeth, get on with it, and hope to lose as few points as possible in the championship to George Russell. This is going to be a long old Sunday. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
It's race day in Budapest as we get ready for another round of the Formula 1 World Championship. We don't expect too many retirements at this track. There are plenty of current and former drivers with flawless finish rates here. In particular, Ralf Schumacher. He made it across the line in all 10 of his Hungarian Grand Prix starts. 14 corners then for our drivers to navigate at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring today. It's 6 lefts and 8 rights around a lap here, with average speeds in the region of 120 miles per hour. And with me as usual is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Mr. Monaco. That was a great podium in the last race, so can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs, so it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. George Russell did very well in qualifying yesterday and will start today's race from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Stroll, Perez, Charles Leclerc and Sainz, Norris, Tsunoda, Giovinazzi and Daniel Ricciardo, Bottas, Ocon, Nikita Mazepin and Mick Schumacher, Aitken, Mr. Monaco, Christian Lundgaard, and Guan Yu Zhou, Latifi, Eilert, Giotto, and Robert Schwartzman. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
What worries me is a top 10 finish would actually be quite a good result this weekend. But here we are then on the grid, ready for the Hungarian GP. Not the start to the weekend we wanted or needed, but starting outside the top 10 does give us the added bonus of being able to one-stop this race then. Not sure whether the AI are going to be able to like soft-hard strategy. I might try and do medium to soft. Depending on how well these tyres go. You guys know me, the hard tyres don't work on F1 2021. But yeah, starting P16, I think all we can really do today is hope for a miracle and fingers crossed, try and slice and dice our way through, make up some places in the process. But ready on the grid then, here at the Hungaroring, Jack Aitken alongside us, Schumacher and Mazepin just in front, 5 red lights. And it is going to be a very long hold, but lights out and away we go. And starting on the medium tyres there does not lead to a good run. So we head down towards the first corner, but getting absolutely swallowed up by back markers and almost into the back of Callum Aylott down at the first turn there. Get back up the inside. Or not get back up the inside of Zhou Guanyu and the other Williams there out of turn 1. And that has been, well, so far a nightmare weekend. And even more of a nightmare start then at the Hungaroring, reminiscent of Hamilton in 2014. Of course, missed out on qualifying and then looped it round down at turn 2 during the race. So I've gone one better than Lewis and looped it at turn 1. But yeah, this weekend, I always said it was going to be difficult, but I didn't think it'd be this bad this early on there. It looks like George Russell leads the way as we head through lap 1 there. Like I said, you know, we've got a 2-race victory margin over George at the moment, so we have got a little bit of room, you know, if we get a weekend like this and perhaps a mechanical failure as well. But Verstappen as well, finally looks like he might be able to deliver this weekend. He could really come in clutch and give us a race, if he took the race of victory today, to stop Max gaining as many points as possible. Stop George gaining as many points as possible. It's a bit weird, you know, we're still in the battle with a Red Bull for the championship, but it's no longer Max Verstappen. As we round the final few corners then of lap 1, George Russell leads the way, Verstappen P2. I think Stroll's still running up in 3rd there ahead of Checo and both Ferraris, as we're 3 seconds back from the Haas cars. We took a good chunk of time out of them in the second half of the lap. Well, all over the back of Robert Schwartzman then as we come towards the end of lap 3 here. Really, yeah, we should be trying to make moves a little bit further up the road, but if we can try and make a move past Robert, I'd be pretty happy. Up the inside we go. Don't quite go for the Kimi Raikkonen style huge oversteer. But we are now making progress once more here at the Hungaroring as, yeah, George Russell just streaking away at the front there. Verstappen and Stroll trying to hang on to his coattails. Verstappen wins today. That would be, what, our 9th winner of the year?
We're low on fuel. Start lifting and coasting. Let's conserve what we have left.
So all over the back of Luca Giotto. Just won that later. Can we go for a move where we did on his teammate? Giotto aware of it. We go deep round the outside on the brakes. Just like keep it between the white lines there, and we can go around the outside, we can go up the inside. But we will navigate both Haas. I mean, these back markers are just losing so much time to the cars in front of them, but yeah, the Hungaroring, often described as Monaco without the barriers. Already, we're getting stuck in a bit of a train here behind Zhou Guanyu, Latifi, Lundgaard, and the other Williams. I can't remember off the top of my head who races in that other car. I'm sure I'll remember in just a moment, as definitely don't want to take that curb as we head up through turn 4 and turn 5. There we go, Verstappen in very early in the Grand Prix. 6 laps in seems, yeah, crazily early in this GP, but what worries me is we might not even come out ahead of our teammate here, as both he, George Russell, I think Tsunoda and Giovinazzi into the pits then at the end of that lap. Are we going to be out ahead of George Russell in this Grand Prix? I don't think we are. No, we're not. We're going to be behind George Russell. We might come out behind Verstappen as well. Going to be side by side with our teammate. George Russell just about gets ahead of this gaggle of cars, but Verstappen can't there, as he's going to try and make the move work on Zhou Guanyu. This could be critical in this race there, as we need to try and, well, help Verstappen, and also hope that we can try and make a move work for ourselves as well there. So we just skim the back of our teammate. So we head up the hill. Don't know if we got any damage from that. So we've got yellow flags out. I think that might be the other Merc of Lance Stroll going slowly in this Grand Prix. Was it Stroll? Might be Tsunoda. Sorry, yep, Tsunoda out of the Hungarian Grand Prix on just lap 7. Just trying to experiment at the moment with some different lines to hopefully then get ourselves a run on Zhou Guanyu. We've definitely got a quicker race car at the moment, but that AlphaTauri is not bad down the straights, as we're going to see more cars exiting out of the pit lane here. Things are going to get very, very congested very, very quickly, as Stroll now side by side with Callum Ilott on pit exit. You can see how much time Russell's been able to gain through all of this. Come on, Max, you got to just send it on him. Can Verstappen put the power down? Yes, he can there, and actually does me a favour on the exit. Holds up Latifi there, so we are going to make up the place.
Yellow flag.
So we've got the yellow flag still out for that Merc. It's all going on early on here at the Hungaroring, but yeah, we just need to be trying to take places. Most importantly, keeping the front wing clean. So here comes Verstappen then.
Strategy is available on the MFD.
On Christian Lundgaard, as we've got more cars battling just up the road. That's Stroll and Ilott going side by side back down towards cell 1, but surely, Max, you've got to be trying to make moves on Christian Lundgaard at this stage of the race. The Mercedes has flown past the Williams, but of course he didn't have the DRS. Callum Ilott, that is. At the moment, yeah, we're just stuck, still staring at the back of our teammate. Nice to actually battle with him, or be close to him on circuit for once. Often Verstappen has been way behind me this year, but still frustrating, as thought about having a look around the outside of Max there, as he just is not making an impact. Verstappen now has finally made a move work on Lundgaard last time round. Callum Ilott, though, is going to be the next man on his hit list, as, yeah, I mean, Verstappen and, what's it, Stroll? Sorry, not Verstappen, Russell again, even, I should say, and Stroll, of course, have just made such big gains out of all of this. But can we now get a run on Lundgaard at the final corner there? Activate the DRS. We can see Latifi and Verstappen going side by side up the road. Sorry, Ilott and Verstappen going side by side up the road. Don't know why I've suddenly forgot who drives where in this career mode, but as we head out through turn 1, we'll make yet another move work then in this Grand Prix, as Verstappen now hopefully is going to romp off into the distance there. Almost managed to get the car alongside Ilott as we went through turn 2 there. I might be able to get a run actually. So we head up the hill in towards turn 4. No, Ilott holds firm to wheel on the grass as we go through the final corner, but that's going to open up the exit of the corner nonetheless. And Ilott, yeah, of course, with no DRS to defend himself. This should be a nice simple move. So we head back down towards turn 1 there, which it is. So we are now finally making a bit of progress by virtue of all the alternate strategies going on. But of course we've still got to pit once more in this race. Verstappen and all the front runners will have to do the same. But yeah, it does really just mean everyone that qualified outside the top 10 has been given a bit of a lifeline here if they've got enough straight line speed. Stroll though on hards, so I've got no idea what they've got planned to get to the checkered flag. But we're only on lap 12 of 35 here, and a lot has gone on.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the hards.
Team want us in then over the next couple of laps, but the last few laps you can just see our race hasn't really been with the likes of Verstappen or Stroll. It's actually been with the Aston Martin, who still leads the way there. I want to say that's Esteban Ocon in this Grand Prix, who's leading up the front. But yeah, that little gaggle of cars really starting to lose a lot of time at the moment. So if we can get close to Verstappen and that whole group now that have all bunched up, when we pit onto hards, probably a couple of laps before they do, you know, we are now effectively in a battle for sort of podium places, maybe even the win if things really went our way. But there's still a long way to go, and I'm still not feeling confident in the car, as you can see by that line through the chicane. Oh, there we go. Mazepin and Bottas into the pits. So Ocon at the front's going to be given a little bit of breathing room there, but it gives George Russell and the other two a bit of time to close back in. I'm going to box the end of this lap, I think. Well, unless Verstappen does so.
The car behind has started to drop back. There's a gap beginning to form. Confirmed. We'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Yep, so team happy with that by the sounds of it. And yeah, now we just got to keep grinding out, because we might have potentially been really gifted an opportunity for a big result here. So you head down round the final few corners then. Are we going to see Ocon into the box? Yes, we are.
Only 2 seconds.
So that's going to allow the cars in front just to get a couple of laps of breathing space here. But again, they're on different strategies still at this stage of the day there, as we only just get the car slowed down into the pit lane here. But a bit of deja vu. Esteban Ocon leading at the Hungarian ring. We might have just held him up ever so slightly in the pit lane, but we got to hope we re-emerge in some clear air in this Grand Prix. 2.7 second stop. I think we're going to come out right at the back of this huge train of cars,
See these tyres through to the end
which
now.
we do just behind Jack Aitken on pit exit. But that, yeah, really hampers both myself and Ocon's race there, because of course the top guys are going to be a bit quicker and have got clear air, whereas we don't. All over the back then of Jack Aitken as we head through the final 2 turns. I don't think he's quite going to have the DRS or on Bottas in front of him, as we really try and put the power down out of the final corner. To the outside of the Alfa Romeo we go. And back up now into P14 then of the Grand Prix. Of course, the likes of Bottas and Mazepin, I think we were actually meant to be battling on track there. So we have still got, yeah, a very clear shot of points, but we're just going to have to keep making moves. Problem is now, though, of course, Bottas in that McLaren is not going to be slow down the straight, so it might require a bit of a big brave move on the flying Finn. We are actually gaining this time round. To the inside we go, and I was getting very worried we might be stuck behind him all afternoon. But no, first time of asking there. We overtake Valtteri Bottas, and back up now into P13. Mazepin up next. There we go.
Max is in the pits. Max in the pits.
Verstappen into the pit lane there, as we probably get one of the best saves I've done on F1 2021. That's why I don't take too much inside curb through that corner. I suppose I'm going to learn the scary way.
We need to start aggressively conserving our fuel reserve.
Still under on fuel, but we will make that back by the end of the race there, as we are struggling on these hard compound tyres. George Russell again has come out in clear air here, and it looks like Verstappen is going to get stuck battling on pit exit, as I almost ram into the back of Mazepin through turn 1. But yeah, we just got to try and get these tyres operating in the right window. Back up though now into 12th in this Grand Prix, so the points are right there. So there we go, Mick Schumacher into the pits at the end of lap 21. As we're now all over the back of Mazepin. Have we got any other cars in? No, we haven't. So this now is a battle for 10th place then in this Grand Prix as we head back down towards turn 1. Oh, Mazepin locks up. I go much braver on the brakes though anyway. And I thought Mazepin might have just outbraked himself, but we slow it down perfectly in towards the first corner. Back into the points now here in Hungary. But now it's, well, still Stroll out in front, but he's going to have to pit probably again before the end of this race. If he doesn't, that has been a master stroke strategy down at Mercedes. But yeah, we've still got Charles Leclerc holding up both Red Bulls now. Now all over the back of Esteban Ocon. DRS flap wide open as we head back down towards turn 1. The Frenchman tries to go defensive, but we will say no thank you, and we will reclaim P9 now in the Grand Prix. Big gaggle of cars just up the road as Verstappen trying to navigate Daniel Ricciardo. 10 laps to go then here from the Hungarian ring, and still all over the back of Verstappen, Ricciardo, and now Lando Norris slowly drifting back into this little gaggle of cars here. So the AlphaTauri man starting to struggle, but I need to see Verstappen trying to make an impact overtake on his former teammate Daniel Ricciardo here. Is he going to be able to get the run back down towards turn 1 there? Verstappen, no, he's not really using any battery either It doesn't seem like, as we head back down through the first corner. I almost over-rotate again through that first turn. Forgot just how difficult I seem to find it through there today. But yeah, now we might have trying to think about making a move on our teammate Max Verstappen. There's the back end just all over the show at the moment. That's how hard we're pushing. Still late on in the day. About to start lap 28 then of this Hungarian Grand Prix. And you can still just see trying to do everything within our power to stick close to Verstappen. He's not trying to make moves on Ricciardo, it doesn't feel like at the moment. So I might try to have to make an overtake on our Dutch teammate here as we head back down towards turn 1. Oh, Ricciardo looks up! There's wheel-to-wheel contact between myself and the Australian, and that might be 2 for the price of 1 then, on the exit of the first corner here as we head down the hill side by side with Daniel Ricciardo there. We run horribly wide on the exit, but somehow still make the move work there, and a similar overtake to what he did all those years ago, but now up into P7 then of the Hungarian Grand Prix there. Lando Norris not far away either, and of course he'll have no DRS to defend himself with. And we've got both Ferraris and both Red Bulls battling it out for the podium scraps, because Stroll and Mercedes today seem to have come up with a worldly strategy that with 7 laps to go, he is still leading here. Oh, Norris, bit of a lock-up here as we head down into Sector 3. Might be able to have a look up the inside. Lando Norris tries to defend from the overtake, but we'll just slowly squeeze him out there and force him to back out of the position as we're about to start lap 30 of this Grand Prix.
Nice overtake.
Russell now, there's only 1 car between us, and that's Charles Leclerc, and I think Sykes at the front of that train is starting just to hold him up a lot more, and our pace seems to be getting there again. Could we still, in all of this commotion at the Hungaroring, still end up outscoring our big rival, George Russell? And look at this then, 3 laps to go here at Hungary. As you can just see still, we are absolutely fighting this rear end, trying to put the power down through the lower speed corners. Nice slide out of the final turn, as we are now all over the back of Charles Leclerc in this Grand Prix. Are we going to be close enough to send it into turn 1? We show the nose, fill his mirrors, but not quite brave enough that time round to go for anything. Of course, he's still getting the DRS of George Russell just in front, but we need to try and get past Charles Leclerc here if possible. We've been given a lifeline today. We probably never would have expected to be in this position, especially when you consider what happened on lap 1. So just exploring the limits through turn 4 there, maybe a little bit too much. Stick to the back of Charles Leclerc as we head out of the final corner. This time around we're a whole lot closer as we make the run back down towards turn 1.
4.6 seconds.
And up the inside of Charles Leclerc we go, then back into P5 now of this Hungarian Grand Prix here. And what a recovery drive this is end up being, as now George Russell just now ahead of us in this race. Hasn't been able to make those medium tyres work, hasn't been able to make an impact. You know, if this was real life, Perez would have been told to move over a long time ago, as we saw last weekend out in the real life Spanish GP. But Sykes has done us a whirly up until now today. But Lance Stroll looks like he is set to dominate this one. Heading through the final couple of corners of this penultimate lap. Can we stick close enough to George Russell to maybe try and think about a move back down towards turn 1? I don't think we're quite going to get the power down this time round. But George Russell trying to close up on his teammate Sergio Perez as we get back down towards turn 1 there. That Red Bull has got phenomenal straight line speed as we almost still career into the back of our main championship rival down through at turn 1 here. But it looks like Sainz is just going to hang on under so much pressure from both Red Bull cars throughout the entirety of this afternoon there. But Lance Stroll and Mercedes, what a strategy masterclass they pulled off today. I never thought when the Canadian pit onto hard tyres on lap 6 there that they'd be able to get that car right the way through to the checkered flag. But Mercedes, they won back in Castellet by courtesy of Lance Stroll. They are definitely been on a fight back this season so far there, and are getting themselves right in the mix on occasion here. It's just not as consistent as I'm sure they would want it. But round in the final few corners then, we're going to run horribly wide there. These tyres definitely now giving up the ghost. Lance Stroll wins once more in the My Team career mode. We almost loop it as we head down through the final few corners here. But I never would have expected, especially after turn 1, that we'd be finishing right behind George Russell in this Grand Prix. You talk about a recovery drive, that's pretty much everything I could have ever done.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
It's victory in Budapest then, and what a victory it is after an incredible Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. This result narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern day Formula 1.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula 1. Be sure to join us for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys, the end of the Hungarian Grand Prix there, and it is Lance Stroll who takes home the race victory ahead of Sainz and Perez there. George Russell didn't even get fastest lap in the end, so I've got no idea who took that away from him right at the very end there. It was Antonio Giovinazzi coming in clutch, nabbing that fastest lap bonus point, which means when all is said and done, we only lost 2 points in the championship to George Russell there. Charles Leclerc finished 6th ahead of Norris and Ricciardo there, and Verstappen again, a tough old day for him, down in 9th place there, only outscoring Esteban Ocon there. Mazepin just missed out on points, then you can see the rest of your finishers there, just Yuki Tsunoda, who didn't make it through to the checkered flag there. Championship-wise, though, still means 212 points. Love to see that there. 51 points of the gap to George Russell, as Perez is slowly but surely taking points out of his teammate there. Charles Leclerc hanging on to P4 ahead of Norris there. Lance Stroll jumps his teammate Tsunoda by virtue of his 2nd win of the year there, but they both pulled clear of Max Verstappen there. Sainz jumps Bottas, Ocon jumps Zhou Guan Yu. Don't think there's any other movement though further down the order, as constructors wise Red Bull just extend that margin up to 23 points once more there. But next time round we head to the Belgian Grand Prix. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well. Trying to hit 50k before F1 2022 does release there. But thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be back very, very soon with more Formula 1 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.